Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm at the Imperial Lifespan, and today we're going to do a wreath. And the nice thing about these wreaths is you can make them any holiday, or you can just make a theme wreath. Like for instance, I had done this one, and it is a beach theme, because I have a beach theme in my bathroom. So I use the shells, and you can even put other things around the top here. This is a styrofoam base, and this is gauze that we use. And the gauze, the reason I use the gauze is because it actually adheres to itself. You don't really have to glue it. When you're wrapping it, and this is just a little piece of gauze, when you're wrapping, it kind of sticks to itself. So you don't have to do any hot glue gun or anything like that. So you can just keep rolling it around, and I did this already, but then you've got it like that. To finish your gauze at the bottom, you're going to want to use your glue gun. Just be careful with them because they're very hot. And that will seal the bottom of your gauze and it won't unravel. I started making the fringe, and you could pick any colors you want. What I do is I use any kind of yarn. I don't use ribbon so much, but you could, because the whole idea is the thick and thin. Here's a thicker one, here's even a thinner one, different colors, different textures. And I use the piece of gauze like I did on this one. You can see how the gauze makes it stand out a little bit. It just makes it more textured, and it fills in. So I use the gauze, and I use the type that have, like, you know, when you knit you can use this. It has 3 different colors in it, and it's a thicker strand. So all you do is when you're putting the strands on, you just take it by the end and you put it around here, put the end up here, and you take your 2 strands and you pull them down. So you have it down there. It's good to sometimes if you pull it around so you can't see it so much where they come together. So you might want to just adjust this a little bit so looks like it's coming from behind or from the bottom. You don't want to have these things up here like this, because that doesn't look good. So you want to bring your loops down to the bottom. So there. So see how much better that looks because it's down at the bottom. And you have different ones, like some are in the back and some in the front, and it shows the different, you know, the different textures. Here's another piece. And it's a lighter color, but like I said, you need to, you know, use different textures, different colors, I mean, you probably have stuff like this sitting around your house, you know, and you pull it down and there they go. And the more you have, the better it is. You don't want to have any spaces here. You know, when you put this on, you want to make sure that they're close together. You don't want to have the white gauze underneath there to show. So just keep adding to it, adding to it. Just looping it through, real easy, and pulling it down. So there you go. See how that looks better whenever you don't have that gauze sitting in the middle of it. It doesn't look so good. I'll put it around my neck. You can see how it does. So you pull that through there, move it over. There you go. Here's some blue. We'll add some blue in here. There it is. There's another piece. So you can add as many of these things as you could possibly get. The more, I think, the better it looks. It just gives it a little more character. So see, as I said, I need another piece here because you don't want the gauze to show. But it starts to look pretty nice. And then as I said, here's the gauze. This always, I think this makes it look a little more thicker, and it just breaks up the different textures. Because if you have different textured yarns and different textured material, even if you have printed material and you want to use that, just make sure that it's easy to work with because some of them slip around. So see how that in the middle, that just breaks it up a little bit, you know? And then you could space that out, the different colors. So I use all kinds of yarn. Here's my greens and my blues and, you know, to break up the colors. Here's some yellow. So on this one, I just sort of kept it plain. You could even, you know, put, like I said, seashells around the bottom, around the top there if you wanted to, or if you have some of that sea straw, you know, you could put it come out the sides on this. But this was real easy to make. The hot glue gun's great. So I'm going to go ahead and put my flowers on. And this is, I'll put this like this so you can see. You just want to get a lot of glue on these flowers because you've got to press it down so it actually gets, so you really put a lot of glue on. You can see it's smoking. But the more glue you have, the better it is because it will stick. So I'll put this one like right here in the middle of this. You just press it, hold it for about 5 seconds so it catches, and you've got that on there. You want to put more of these. You know, I just put a few, and you know, leaves are always nice. You can either take them off, you can cut them, so you can space them where you want them. Just on these, I would just put my glue on the wreath itself, you know, so you could press it down. And it does get hot, and it sticks to your fingers. But you know, then you can see the stick there, so you want to put another one that goes this way. So you don't want your sticks to stick up in where you've glued it. So you can add another leaf. It's coming out nice. Glue gun like that. So you can have leaves on that side. You know, another flower. And then we'll just put that one there like that. Hold it down for about 5 seconds. Make sure it catches. I really like glue guns. They're my favorite. And then you can just lift this leaf up, or this flower. Put a little glue on your muslin. Put this so you can't see it down like that. And that is hot. You press it down. And so you have that, and you have the different colors. You see how that goes together once you put the flowers on. Before you put the flowers on, it looks kind of like, what? But you can see how you're bringing out the different colors. And to finish it, like I did with this one, you can make a nice, because it's supposed to be raggedy, you have a nice little bow that you can make, or you can just make, you know, use one of your yarns if you wanted to, you know, to make a, I wouldn't use this color, but you can do this like we did before with the yarn, you know. So you put it like that and then tie a bow up on top of here, and that can hold it on or be your hook, you know, and then you hook it up like this and put that in front. Get your, here, see? You use different colors, maybe something a little thicker, but that's why I like to use the muslin. I think it looks nicer. So I have this, like that, and I do like I showed you, where I just put it through here, and it comes up, get it good and tight. Like that. You can't even see where that goes from the hanging one to the actual what's on the wreath. And then, you know, make a little bow. And then you can use that bow right there. There's a hole between where you can use that to hang up. You might want to just cut this extra stuff off. I always cut longer so that I can, if I need to cut. So you have it like that. If you want to, you can take one of these other flowers and you can put it up here. I don't have another flower, but you can even stick another flower up there. I like it like that. I would add more greens to it. I like this pink, the way that makes it, and there's green in these things, so I could probably add more of those. And if you wanted to make other types, so you have this one, and you have your beach one, but you can use over here, and here's like an Easter one. You could put this little Easter one on it. You know, I've got I can go like this, put that on, or this way, probably, and then put here's bunny rabbits. You can put that around here, and maybe the duck on the other side. Inside there are bunny rabbits. You can hot glue gun these bunny rabbits on if you wanted to, or just keep them inside your flowers. You could just put it one here, maybe one here, just to show the bunnies. And then you have your egg. So you have an egg there, maybe a bunny here, different colors. So that's your spring, and if you wanted to, you could take those off and then just keep that as a spring one after Easter. It's pretty easy to keep the themes going on these. And you can put a Christmas one. I'm just going to keep using this one because I can show more stuff on it. But if you put the green, if you have the red, like that, maybe you want to get some leaves and put it on there. Put your pine cones on. With that glue gun, it stays pretty good. You know, put your glue gun and do the Christmas thing. It looks like that. You know, and maybe another one like that. But you use your imagination. You could do anything with this. It's got so many possibilities. And here's a winter one, a fall one. You can add your fall flowers on there. You want to go this way with them. You know, the more you have on there, fill it in the middle. You can have like the yellows, maybe some brown, some green. I'd throw a little blue in there, you know, something like that. And then you've got little leaves. If you wanted to put the leaves on, just to keep it going around. That's why I like this gauze, because it makes it easier to put these things on when you're trying to hot glue them. They're not moving all over the place. But there's a nice fall wreath, you know? So it just looks like that. You have this, maybe you would put one of the sunflowers up on top to where that is, and show whenever you hang it down like that. So it's coming out. You can put that like that, and then have all your fall colors underneath here. So it would look like that, a little bit. And that's my favorite wreath to make. And there they are. So use your imagination, get creative. These are easy to do, fun to do. You can do them with your grandkids or something, you know. It's a nice, easy project to do. That's what we like to do. Thank you. Bye.